What up brothers, it's Clipper King returning. Welcome back to my channel for another new review. The figure that I'll be reviewing today is the Hot Toys Deadpool from the movie Deadpool. As you see, I've got him sat on his box, just drawing his little ouchie picture and just getting ready for Uncle Clipper to do a fair, scored up review on the bad man. I'll start off by saying that this has been one of the most anticipated figures of the year for me, and strangely as it seems, the other one that I was really waiting for was the regular version of Batman. So is Deadpool a cool ass figure in his own right, or does he suffer from the fallout from the awesome Batman? We'll find that out in the review today. But I am loving that pose, but I'm going to get him off the box. We're going to get some scores on the doors. I will just say, if you ever want to see any of my review poses, I am on Instagram under uncle_clipper, so you can find me on there, and you also find me pictures on Rick Bates on Facebook. So if there's ever any poses you do particularly like I say, you'll find them there. But I'm loving that one. I'm going to get him moved so we can crack on with the scores. So let's roll on to the packaging. As you can see, really stunning artwork on this box. It is just a slip cover, then a winded panel box inside, but it's just a little step above. Not only do you get the awesome looking titles and the massive shot of Deadpool in the centre, around the box you have other things to see. So we've got his titles at the bottom. As we move up, you see a little shot of him here, the cutaway bullet holes all around, down the sides there and here, so you can see through to the box. Then up here in the graphics, you see the eye gloss sort of badass if you look upside down at that, and just the other phrases on there. As we turn it round, see again another shot of Deadpool here, another one of him on the back, another one of him on the side, and then probably the most impressive one, if you remove the slip cover, the internal box, you do have a picture of him sort of breaking the fourth wall, where he's Deadpool holding his own figure box. So a nice touch. Even when you look down the cast and crew, try and get nice and close, you see there's lots of different shots of the figure in varied poses. So there is some pose ideas there, but altogether it just makes a really cool looking box. I have bumped the score up. It is only average quality, and inside is just the plastic clam trays, but the artwork is so good I've bumped it up from a 3 to a 4 out of 5. So let's roll on to the facial likeness. I've not really done a repose here, simply because I want to get around the figure, show you the detail, and also I'm going to do a demonstration with the 5 different sets of eyes. Also try and answer some questions that I have been asked, so I'll try and cover that. So first, the head obviously is an hard sculpt, and you can see the sort of the weave in the mask, and also the sort of fake stitch work around the eye patches up over the head, and then around the back you see, because he's wearing sort of an hood, you see the pointed section here. I will say it looks as if the head sculpt inside the mouth is open, simply because he has quite a lowered jawline. So if you look at a scene from the film where he is talking, that is more what the head sculpt looks like. Some people say the head seems a little bit too big or elongated. I don't think so. I just think if you think about it in a pose where he's mid-speech, then I think that is more the look that they've gone for. The obvious thing and the good work that they've done is with the eyes, or the interchangeable eyes, because a figure like this where there's no mouth section, and even in the film you don't see no expression, so the eye sections have got to move. They then went with that with the Spider-Man in Civil War. The eyes are movable, and I do feel that if we do see another Spider-Man, there's a good chance that it will have interchangeable magnetized eyes like we have on this one. Now I will say also, there isn't a massive difference in the interchangeable pizzas that you do get. It's more the change in the eyebrow than it is in the eye shape. There's not much, like if you look at the section there, sort of mid-screen, and then you look up, it's not a massive difference in the eye shape. It's just sort of a tiny bit more closed, where this one is really closed, and then this one doesn't look too much different, but you do notice a different expression because the shape of the brow. If you look at that, he's got like kind of surprised look, and obviously you don't have to swap in a pair, so you can give them an different expression by having one wide eye, one more closed, and it will change the pose that you've got him in. So all in all, I do like the shape of the head and the sculpt, the paintwork and everything, but what really brings it to life is the eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out from there, the widest ones he's got. They're probably the next widest. Like I said, the brow is slightly lowered on this one. So go again. So now the whiteness of the eye doesn't really change a lot, but it does look more like the brow is dipped down. So like he is wincing a little bit. So not a massive change, but it is there. I'll move on again. So again, not a massive variance, but you can tell when you go from one to the other. A little more dipped in the middle, these ones, a bit wider at the sides. So again, look quite nice. And then this time, these really are the narrow looking ones. So he's really got his eyes creased up together here. So like I said, it is subtle variances between one and the other, but when you do swap one out, like if I were to take out that one, you can do it with your nail, but you also get the magnet, and then I put in, oh no, let's just put this one in for effect. You see, it does change it all, and so like with 5 full sets, you can pretty much change it to what you want, make it look like the expression you would want for the particular pose you've got. I will also say as well, the magnets do work quite nicely in the head. They're not the strongest in the world, but sometimes as well, it feels like the section doesn't fit the sculpt absolutely perfect. So you do have to sort of move it into place. Like that one, I can feel it. If I'm pushed from the cheekbone side, it will pop up. If I push from the head, it will sit. So there is that. I don't know if it's just a case that you've got to bed it in, but yeah, they don't always feel like they fit 100% flush. But it is an awesome idea. Like I said, I hope they do use this idea on something like a Spider-Man. We've seen it before with the likes of a Batman with the interchangeable eyes and stuff like that, but not really with a fully masked figure, so it does work really well. Another thing someone did ask me is the head removable? And it is, as you can see, just sits on a sort of the bow jointed neck. Sometimes people are saying the neck's a little bit too long. I think if it would bother you that much, you just take the bottom section off, shave a little bit of the bottom of the neck off, then fit that back on, and then it would sit a little bit lower. I personally don't believe that's the case. I think it's pretty perfect as it is, so I won't be doing that with mine. People did ask, because I'm guessing that people are going to try and put a Ryan Reynolds head sculpt in there as an interchangeable head. So like I said, I wear ass, so I did want to answer that. The likeness is great to me. It does really look like a shrunk down version of the movie version of Deadpool. So for that reason, I'm going to give the facial likeness a 5 and a possible 5. Moving on to his outfit. Move up, just take a look at him. Just got him in a Kung Fu style stance. Just removing one of his katanas from behind his back. You see he's stood on his own. He does articulate really well, and the suit helps that. So he's balanced as well. But let's talk about his suit as a whole. So if we start at his feet, you see he has these boots. I said boots, they are more like shoes because they do only go to the ankle, as you see. They are black, nice sculpt, well painted, with the red attachments on them. Inside there's a really nice strong ankle peg. Like I said, you can see his ankles are pivoted in, but he still keeps his balance really nicely. Moving up to the shin section, again, the red sculpt. It is weathered this time. This side has a strap on it because it holds his knife sheath on his left leg, which is really nicely done. On the other side, you see there's no straps because there's no sheath on that side. Moving up to the trousers, or the all-over suit, should I say. Really nicely done. Now this is one of those outfits or materials, you've really got to touch it to appreciate how good a quality is. Just looking alone, you're going to think it's some kind of pleather or some kind of rubber. It's not, it's like a really flexible silicone feel, but then it has like a fabricy texture to it. I'll try and get in so you get the sort of look. The knee pads aren't that padded that he won't articulate. Nothing hinders the articulation. The suit is tight enough yet loose in the correct places so he will articulate. In his crotch, as you can see, check out the weathering, check out the cut and stitch, the sculpted on piping, really nicely done. When you touch it, it does feel in scale, but you also think, if you listen to certain scenes in the film where he's sort of pulling and stretching his suit, it has a sound to it, and this replicates it really well. Like I say, it is not rubberized, but something close to that. The strap work is good. A lot of it has the canvas style straps, so on the inner leg, the sort of underbelt, and then he has the brown faux leather belt. I will say, out the box, I thought the brown faux leather belt and pouches looked a little bit cheap. But I suppose the more you see it, your eye is not drawn to it as much. But again, I think they could have weathered it a little bit more. The Deadpool symbol on the belt buckle is a nice inclusion. Moving up again, you see the red with the weathered sections, moving up through his ab section, into his chest, and then on the shoulder has a really soft, flexible or pliable black faux leather, but it's really, really fine. There's nothing I can liken it to. I don't think I've got anything in the collection that I could say, if you know that, then that's what it feels like. It's something totally different. On the outer side of the shoulder, he has sort of the soft sculpted section which sort of covers his upper shoulder and upper arm. That moves nicely with the costume and again doesn't hinder the articulation. The bands just above his elbow joint do float loosely. They're independent. They do feel a little bit fragile, but because they're rubberized, I can't see them snapping. So again, very nice. You see that one there just under where his elbow bends. Really nicely done. Up through the forearm, again, nice sculpt in the material. The elbow pad doesn't hinder the articulation, and then it is attached right up to the end of the wrist where the ball joint attaches, and it is glued in place, so that is a nice touch. And then your hand sculpts are a nice soft rubber, which also have a sort of a short length gauntlet on it, so the join is obviously inside there, which does hinder the articulation a little bit there, but not too much, as you can see on that hand. Moving up through the collar, again, it is the same material as the rest of the body. You can see the metallic press stud or connectors, whatever they are. There is some replacement ones of those, so Hot Toys might be expecting for them to come off. I hope that's not the case, because I don't like messing about having to glue stuff on that if they put it on right in first place, you wouldn't have to do that. Obviously, as I've already said, the mask is totally sculpted, and it does go to a point at the back to make it look kind of like an hood and not a mask. So, really nice, moves really well, looks really good. The sort of weathering that they've put on certain sections gives it an hint of realism, which I do like, and I do like that there's nothing too fiddly. Couple of things of note. His holsters for his guns, as you see, you can actually see his gun from the front of the holster, so it doesn't case it completely, it just sort of holds it to the side of his leg. Sometimes the gun feels a little bit loose inside there, so that might be a little nitpick. If I turn it around, another little nitpick would be a bit of poor finishing at the top. As you can see, as the zip comes up his back, you can see how the zip's open right at the top of the neck, and then it's just got this black patchwork to sort of cover that up. A little bit amateurish looking. It's not too hard to get rid of that, just snip it off with some really sharp scissors, but I don't know, I would have expected better from Hot Toys. I'll just keep hold of it. As I move down his back, you see he does have the faux straps that lead up to where his katana sheaths are on his back. That is attached by a magnet, but looking down the back, he's got a nice Deadpool butt going on. Some nice work down the back as well. Just to show, I just want to remove this without the figure falling off. Obviously, his blade's going to stay in his hand. It is just a magnet. Can I do it? Can I do it? I've only gone and fucking done it, haven't I? Face plant. There is a section on his back which sort of sits between his shoulder blades, which is nicely magnetised. That obviously attaches to his back, and that holds the blades in place. So to sum up the outfit, Looks awesome, feels amazing, and doesn't hinder the articulation. What more could you really ask for? And when I have to ask myself that question, you know I'm giving the outfit a 5 out of a possible 5. Moving on to articulation, and I've pretty much said most of it in the outfit section. So anything that a really articulated true type will do, this will do. The outfit doesn't hinder it at all. There's nowhere where you're trying to put it into a position and the outfit's trying to pull it back. It moves freely with the body. So all your articulation points are there. To quickly go through them, the head is articulated on a lower neck ball joint. The shoulder sections will move forward, back, up and down, rotate. Bicep swivel, or just above the bicep. Double bend elbow. Wrists on a ball joint. Articulation through the midsection, rotation through the waist, the legs will kick forward and split, rotation at the upper thigh, I do believe, double bend through the knee, and then ankles on a ball joint. Like I said, I've got him as if he's rotating with both his katanas out on this pose. I could pose this for hours, and pretty much this won't have many mental poses in as compared to what I can do. But the way I see it is, if I do a review to tell you everything I feel about the figure, so you're getting a uniform review to every other figure I've done, then I can always come back and do a top 10 poses of Deadpool video, and then I'll be able to get some views on that and then get really mental. So that is probably going to be my idea. But to demonstrate he is articulated, as you can see, that arm is completely across him. He's got a bend through that elbow. This one comes back across him and he's bend. He's got double bend through that knee, as you can see. I've got one leg back, one leg forward to demonstrate that, and then I've also got motion in both ankles. So if you can do that, you will also know the other things he can do. Also, you've seen the Hong Kong bloggers' pictures, and you've probably watched Dean Knight's articulation test. I don't want to replicate the videos Dean's done. I want to do my own sort of brand of video. I don't really want to cross over and keep stepping on each other's toes. So if you do want to see it articulated on camera, then I would say go to Dean Knight's channel. But other than that, I'm going to mainly tell you what it will do and what it won't do. And like I said, there isn't much it won't do, but loads it will. So for that reason, the articulation is getting another 5 out of a possible 5. Moving on to his extras and accessories. As we move down and away, we'll see everything that the figure brings. Now this is another strong category, simply because it ticks a lot of boxes that you would want. So let's first off talk about the stand. Now, it is the large sort of stand with a cutaway for the nameplate. We've seen it before on figures like Thor, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so it's that style of base. We've also seen it, like I said, with the build-up of the rock, like I'm thinking of Thor, the fucking hell, what was it? Superman, I think the evil version of Superman. Also, it's like the new Goblin stand, so that sort of thing. Does look really good. I like the eye gloss Deadpool symbol, the name, and then the blood spatter marks around. Another thing I do like about it is the dynamic flight pole at the back. Because it is metallic, it will hold him in place because of the magnet on his back, which also holds his strap, and that will work if his sheaths are on his back. It will still hold him because the magnet is that strong. So like I say, you could move him around so it doesn't grasp him anywhere, so it's not going to hurt the suit. It's not round under his arms or under his crotch, but it is going to hold him in place and stop him from falling. So for that reason, I really do like the stand. He also brings the magnet device with the Deadpool symbol on it for picking out the eyes and also removing them from his head. I'm not going to show that because I've already done a video showing how you do the eye swap, so it's nice that they included that. The instruction manual, which is worth a read, just basically tells you the do's and don'ts of the outfit, and obviously how to change his eye plates and obviously the katanas and so on and so forth. All stuff you would know, but it's still worth a read. It does bring the grabber for the flight pole. I've not put it on, as you can see. The two die-cast katanas, which are both very nicely done and do fit in the sheaths very nicely. Moving down, the silver T-bar knives. They are plastic but do look metallic. Moving on to the Desert Eagles, of which he has two. You see the bottom one, I've got it pulled back and also the clip removed, and that is it closed. They are a gunmetal grey, and I just wish they were a little bit more silver. I'm not saying flat out silver like the blades, but just a silver wash on them, just to bring them a little bit lighter, because from a distance they do look black, and I think that is not very accurate. It doesn't bring the picture. I just drew that myself this morning for my first pose, but that would have been nice if they'd have included it. The hands are a right touch, simply because you get plenty of them and every base is covered. So if we look on the figure, he's got a thumbs up right, a pointing left, and that's kind of a Fonzie kind of pose. Hey, that sort of pose. Moving down, we've got the OK symbol on the left, a pointing right but with the finger tucked in, set of fists, set of trigger hands, set of sword grabbing hands, and then a set of the wide open hands with this sort of the expression or the gesture that you could use for a lot of different poses on this figure. I will say all the gloves are really nicely done. They swap on and off really nice, and they've also included the sort of carbon fibre weave on the glove, as you can see, and that is on all of them. So really nice detailed glove. Remember what I said on the Batman review, when Hot Toys show a figure love, they do give it its own set of hands, so sculpt and gestures that we've not seen a million times before. So you think of an hand like the Murphy from Robocop, the battle damage Robocop, the gun twirling hand, stuff like that. Other than that, we get stock hands, a set of fists, set of relaxed hands, set of spread hands, and they're just shit because we've seen them that many times. Not the case with this one. Really well done on the hands. It's got a total of 5 pairs of interchangeable eyes. Obviously he's wearing a pair. Like I said, there is only subtle differences between them, but it's a really good idea because we are an additional portrait. This is a good way to have a swap around that will bring life to your pose. So that again is a really good touch, and I would score that as an additional portrait. The spare wrist pegs, the spare metallic clips for his outfit. I hope I never need to use those. And that is all the extras. Now, I think it's a good selection because there's not many more things I would have liked to have seen him bring. Like I said, the picture might have been a nice touch, but you're never going to, well, you might use it in certain poses, but not all of them. I'm going to score it like this. I'm going to give him a point for the strength of the base, the point for the hands, a point for the interchangeable faceplates, a point for the weapons. So that gives him a total of a 4 and a possible 5 for extras and accessories. Right, rolling on to value. Show you the pose first. Showing feet together with both his pistols out. So, I will start off by saying I got mine for a really good price, simply because I paid for it about a month, 2 months ago, 6 weeks maybe. So I got mine for round about the reasonable price mark. So in my mind, that's round the £200 mark. I think that's reasonable for Hot Toys this day and age, with the pound being so weak. On release, it did what all these figures are doing. It shot up past 300 on eBay. Someplace I saw it for like up to 330, and I think, fucking hell, it's done exactly the same as the last 3 versions of Batman's doing. I know people want them, but sometimes I think they're not that limited. Are they really worth that? So like I say, although I'm only scoring mine, I do see what happens. On the flip side to that, I was then offered half a box, or not that I offered it, I was told that if I knew anybody who wanted, I could get 3 more from Hong Kong. Now at this point, just to say, because I got called a scalper not too long back, I got a price for 1, and it would have been about 300 quid. If I took 2, they would have been about 280 each. If I took 3, they were going to be about 264 each. Now, that's way over the price I paid, but I thought that's going to help 3 people out in the UK, because I'm going to get them. I'm going to stand the custom charge if they get one, and it just helps 3 more people get this figure. Now, I posted them on Facebook yesterday at 280 quid. So basically, that was the price to me, plus shipping, plus insurance. I weren't making a single penny off any of them 3 figures. Now, I could have easily turned around to my guy in Hong Kong and said, no, fuck it, you sell them, you send, because I don't want to get involved. I could have easily done that, but the thing is, the other guys wouldn't have got them at that price. They were that price because it was me that were getting them and standing the cost, basically. So, I got them 3, got a load of interest, and they finally sold. So, them 3 more figures are on the way. So the reason I mention that is because I see the fluctuation in value, the price I paid for mine, the ridiculous eBay prices. I don't know what other Hong Kong sellers have been selling for. I've not got a clue. But like I said, I don't think anybody else could have got them into this country for less than £300 if they'd have gone through eBay. So I'm happy at the price I paid for mine. Would I wanted to pay the 280 that I was selling 3 for yesterday? Probably not. Would I want to pay the £300 plus that I'm seeing people paying for on eBay? Definitely not. It is a nice figure. In fact, it's a fucking awesome figure, but it's not worth that sort of money. But the market is doing what the market wants to fucking do, and that is as plain as I can put it. On mine, to score mine, I'm going to give it a 4 out of possible 5, simply because, like I said, I paid around the £200 mark, and I got a lot of bang for the buck, and it's been one of the most anticipated figures of the year for me. This and the regular version of Batman were keepers from the start. They will feature heavily in my top 15 figures, which will be coming up soon. So that is how strongly I rate this figure. So, like I said, on the value, I like the price I got, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of a possible 5. That takes the overall score on this figure up to 27 out of a possible 30. Now, I think that's one of the highest scoring figures that I've reviewed for quite a long time, simply because it's strong in a lot of categories and it is amazing in a lot of categories. There's nothing or nowhere that it really falls down. It could have done. The suit could have been too restrictive, or the body could have been weak underneath. It could have had accessories and not the hands to fit it, but it didn't. Everything that they did to it completely worked. I'm thinking the magnet on the back, the interchangeable eyes, the material they've used for the suit. They've sort of, I don't know, started putting a lot more thought into these figures, particularly the ones that people really want, and for that reason it's got a deserved 27 out of a possible 30. Well done to Hot Toys, well done to my subscribers for keep boosting me up. I've just passed 12,000 subs and I'm just on the heels of 5 million views. I never dreamt I'd ever get anywhere near that, and it's going up faster day by day, so thank you to you guys. I don't make a lot in AdSense revenue and I don't ask you for Patreon money, so by supporting me, sharing my videos, I do appreciate you guys. But for now, it's the Clipper King and Deadpool, and we are out of here.